I'm convinced that most people are approaching AI all wrong. And my guest today, Richard Gutjahr from Germany, is not only a kindred spirit, but he and I think about creativity and AI a lot alike. Richard, welcome to Video Mojo.
Thank you for having me, John. Such a pleasure.
It's so great to have you here. So, for those of you that don't know Richard, he's a leading German journalist. He's a speaker who's been speaking at corporations about AI, and he's a master storyteller. Check him out on social media. He's got all kinds of fun things going on. So, Richard, you and I have been talking about creativity since we met down at the wonderful Esalen Retreat Center here in Northern California. Tell me what you've been telling people about AI and what are the biggest misconceptions about AI, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, John, it was such a pleasure running into you at Esalen, and it speaks volumes, like that we met at such a place. I mean, come on, like what could be like more creative and more fulfilling than like let your minds go and just like open yourself to creativity, and especially to creativity at the crossroads of technology, which I think we both share and have in common so much, down to the core of our every cell of our bodies and our minds. So
No doubt about
about
it.
so the misconception about AI is, I think, most of all, like there's a lot of fear out there, right? We call it in Germany like the angst, German angst, like that. What like we tend to always focus to like like, are the machines taking our jobs, taking our brains? Like, are they gonna like, are they gonna invade this planet and make us like slaves? That kind of a Terminator kind of a dystopy that's really like shaking everyone up. And that I think of course we have to be smart about using technology, but that has been true for like the invention of the wheel and how to use fire and the steam engine and so forth. So I think we're at the edge to something really meaningful, really huge, maybe bigger than the printing press and the steam engine altogether. And that always like stirs up things, right? That creates a lot of chaos. But if we're smart about it, I think the positive things completely like top all the negative, like collateral that we're gonna see for sure in the next years to come. But we humans are able to deal with technology as we did over the past like thousands of years.
Yeah, I agree that it's so much bigger than most people realize. And that's something that I personally feel is one of the things that is a strength that I see things that are game changers. And it's as if we're back in the days of the beginning of the internet. People don't realize that the Mosaic browser at the time in 1995, I think it was going to change everything. And AI is changing everything, especially for creative people. So that's the first thing. I agree with you, overcoming the fear. Part of that fear, I think, has always been around when is AI going to become a real consciousness? There's even an article as we record this in today's New York Times, how to tell if your AI is conscious. And I think that that's a misunderstanding because whether or not it's conscious or not is an abstract conversation. I find that when I treat it like a consciousness, or as I said recently on social media, treat it as if it were a person, that's when I get the best results out of that creativity and out of that interaction. Is that your experience as well?
Yeah, as absolutely. And like, look, we talk to our pets, right? We talk to our cats, to our dogs, and we treat them like as if they were humans. And I know people who even talk to their plants, right? So I think like the truth is in the eye of the spectator, or of the of ourselves. And if we like work better, if we I mean, we're talking to that, I cannot even pronounce it, Alexa thingy, like, and we're
Alexa?
Exactly. Oops. Don't make everything go on here. Okay. Okay. So, but yeah, exactly. So if we talk, we're already talking to computers. We're talking to, like, machines. We're talking to. I mean, it's natural. I think it's kind of natural. And if, like, machines become sentient or not, let's deal with it if the day ever comes. Ray Kurzweil says it's around 2040, 45 or something. Let's see. We'll be around. We'll deal with it.
It's just that people and people don't get how super smart it is. And that's the other thing that I talk about and I can't stop talking about is the value of experimentation and play. And that was one of the things that you and I originally bonded over. I saw you in the lodge at Esalen, and you were watercoloring and painting. I'm a big fan of journaling and getting things out of my head. When I do that kind of play, and I graphically, I'm doing it in Midjourney, textually, I'm doing it inside ChatGPT. There's an interaction that happens and a playfulness. And you commented the other day that you like the output that I'm getting out of Midjourney. I think the only difference between me and most people with Midjourney is that I play with it and I experiment and I'm willing to do trial and error and see what happens. And that whole exploration is kind of the point to me. But a lot of people just don't even get their feet wet.
Oh, absolutely. And I see people running around. I mean, journaling became such a powerful way to express yourself and to, like, also making sense out of the chaos that is out there ever since, like, the explosion with the internet, the explosion of information, of access, and of, like, creativity. Like, you need some places, like, to sort and to think and to kind of process, like, all those influences that you have access to today. And I found it, like, astounding when I saw you using Mid Journey as, like, your journaling, like notepad, so to speak. I never thought about this being, like, such a wonderful place also, like, instead of just, like, watercoloring, um just like, fantasy color your imagination together with a machine. It blows my mind.
It's fun, and it's interesting. One of the things that I think also people get wrong about AI is that because it's a technology, they think it's all about the technique, right? Prompt engineering. And of course, prompt engineering has its place in a technical sense, but I play with Midjourney. Sometimes I'm learning prompts and learning the language and kind of getting sophisticated with it. But at other times in this journaling aspect that you're talking about, I'll just put in enthusiasm or imagination or curiosity or a negative emotion that I'm feeling that day and just see what happens. And then iterate and iterate and iterate. That's another big tip is to just try different things and let it go and see what comes out because the output is always stunning, actually. It's always kind of like mind blowing the things that AI puts together, whether it's Midjourney or ChatGPT.
Do you remember that artist, I think, who made like $60 million dollars or even more, selling his, like,
People,
I think people, exactly, 365 days of art or something. And you just, like, came up with the idea, if you're journaling 365 days a year and you put it, like, all together, like, your whole experience from a year, that would be fantastic. Like an art piece in itself, like, like the life of Jon Leland, like, in 365 AI generated pictures. Wow.
Well, and there's a lot of history to that. It's like I admire a video special effects artist. I don't even know what she is, who I always speak, Karen X, who has become a spokesperson, I think, for Adobe. But she does amazing video stuff, and she started by doing 365 days of dancing. She didn't think she was a good dancer, and she just like. But the other thing that I think is big about it, Richard, is that put it out, right? I also think about this ukulele teacher that I've done some stuff with on YouTube. She did 365 days of ukulele songs, and anything that you do as a practice is going to certainly nurture your creativity. And then I say, if you publish it on social media, one channel, five channels, I don't care. But by putting it out into public and being willing to make yourself vulnerable and share it, magic happens. That's all I know.
Exactly, and you're inspiring at the same time so many other people by doing the same, or like coming up with their own creativity and putting it out there. So it's an ongoing, like, kind of a spiral upwards towards creativity. And I think, like, that's why what you do, Jon, is so powerful, because like I'm sitting
You're
at the
being
other
very
end of the
kind.
world. No, I'm sitting at the other end of the world. It's like getting dark here already, and with you it's already like early in the morning. So like, and creativity never sleeps. So like, something that you do today will inspire me tomorrow, and vice versa. And isn't that just amazing?
Those are very kind words, and it's true. The other thing that I think is a big misconception, another way that people think about AI all wrong, is they think that it's not creative because it's putting things together. Of course, all artists put together ingredients and input that come from all over the place. Just because AI does that doesn't make it not creative, but the reality is that it's more creative than most people. And that way it becomes an empowerment. I know, one of the things I like about you is I enjoy the way you get around from the fact that you were in the White House press corps when I met you to the fact that you get to South by Southwest. And you ran into somebody who talked about creativity and AI that I think we could bring in here.
Oh yeah, this is Mike Betchel from Deloitte, and he's the chief futurist there. Great title, but what he actually has to say kind of inspired me and helped me to, like, to deal with AI, or have a different look on AI as I had before. Let's see if we can bring him in.
Here's what I mean. Everybody's thinking about generative AI threatening creative jobs, but what I'm actually finding is it's an accelerant for creative people, right? Less creative folks ask generative AI to create less exciting outputs. Right? More creative folks can work miracles with this new class of tools. So I think the humanities, liberal arts, social sciences are going to matter more. After 25 years of tech specialization, I think we're going to start to see polymaths and well-roundedness coming back into the fore.
Yeah, this is Mike.
Thank you for recording that. It's a great insight, and it's not just me and Richard telling you this, folks. We got the chief futurist from Deloitte telling you that being creative with AI and using it to enhance and, in a way, amplify your own creativity, that's part of the future. And that's a really optimistic point of view about AI that I don't hear very often. And I appreciate, kind of like, that's part of the reason I wanted to have this conversation with you, Richard, because I think both of us get that and understand it. And I think it's important for more people to get.
And there's another big advantage of, like, being in this really, like, historic times of, like, having AI, like the birth of AI, and we are part of it. We're witnessing this. It's just amazing. How often, Jon, do we have, like, the birth of a new technology that will probably change, like, history for the next, not only years, decades, yeah, centuries to come? So I think historians will look back to this time that we're living in right now, and will say this was like a fundamental change of humanity and human creativity, and it also kind of egalizes, or like the chances that you have, because, like, creativity now is in the hand of so many people. Like, it's just, like, we all start completely fresh. Like, if you have no idea about AI, doesn't matter. Nobody has, right? So you just have to be curious. You just have to, what just Jon like proves every day on his social media networks, like, that he's experiencing, and he's like, and you are testing it, and you're doing trial and error every day, and we all participate in your learnings. And that is just so wonderful. So everybody can do that. You don't have to have a college degree. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's 100% right, and I don't know. Thank you again for more kind words, but I just don't even know how to say it strong as you said it perfectly, and I know that there are still people who are not hearing the message, and it's a remarkable opportunity. It is a game changer, as is being said widely. This is the worst AI we are ever going to have. It's only going to get better and better. Another point, I guess people think about it like a linear change. And the fact that technology accelerates at an exponential pace is also something that's very difficult to get into our heads. But it's exploding. I call it the AI tsunami. And again, it's just getting started. This is like pre kindergarten, not even kindergarten. And, it isn't going to take till 2040 or whatever you said before, the next week, the next month, the next 6 months. It's crazy how fast this stuff is moving. It's insane how great the quality is. I mean, Midjourney, I saw a chart what it was 6 months ago and what it is today. It's like night and day. And another 6 months, the movie stuff is going to be happening better. It's dazzling. So yeah, maybe that's the big takeaway from this conversation is people should get inspired and invest more of their time in learning and starting to play and experiment.
And may I add something to the beginning of our conversation about the angst, about the fear that people have about change and about AI and what it's going to do to us in our jobs. Some smart guy, I do not recall who we can quote here, but just reminds me what he said. He said, your job's not going to be replaced by AI. It's going to be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI. So having said that, I think gives you a little bit also like the burden of like try, like just try, play with it, like use it, learn with it, from it, off it, like with others. Like you can like hook together like a few friends of yours or colleagues, and like you do your AI workshops, and you learn from each other, and that is something really powerful. So if you're really worried about AI is replacing you or taking away your jobs. I mean, we have huge discussions now in Hollywood. Think about like the writer's strike and then the actors, and so I'm my heart is with them because I love art. I love artists, but while you're fighting for better working conditions or more money, which is always great, like you should also use that fantastic opportunity and become even more creative with the help of AI.
Yeah, I want to underscore the professional dimensions. I was reading some reports over the weekend talking about big, enterprise level organizations who are going through their own culture change, figuring out how to re-engineer these giant technologies and softwares that they run their organizations on. And most of us are not big corporate people. We're more independent, creative, and to re-engineer our lives is actually relatively minor compared to what these big organizations are going to have to go through. And that common quote that you were referencing, I've heard multiple people say it. It's not going to take your job. But the people that use it are going to take your job, in the sense that, personally for me as a marketing agency, we're using AI to be able to deliver more for our clients more efficiently. And the marketing agencies that don't use AI are going to be left in the dust as we get better and better and can deliver higher quality output less expensively. The competition, becomes obvious that you get a competitive advantage. And so it really is professionally something that gives you a leg up if you're interviewing for a job and you're competent with AI. That's going to give you a big advantage over somebody who's not. It's kind of like somebody who could use a spreadsheet and somebody who can't use a spreadsheet. If spreadsheets are involved in the job, obviously you want somebody that has that skill. And AI is going to be part of virtually every job going forward and not in the distant future. So it's an investment in yourself as well as, in my opinion, a shitload of fun.
Definitely, yeah. I'm thrilled. I'm completely thrilled to live in this time, and I'm so like eager to learn what's going to happen in the years to come. I think if you would ask Steve Jobs, like other than losing, like saying goodbye to his beloved ones, I think this is like the one thing that he would really regret not being with us today, is not to being able to see like what's ahead, like with technology and with AI, and how this is actually again at the crossroads between technology and creativity and liberal arts. And I think he would have loved to experience AI and what you can do with it. There is that one famous quote of him of a big party somewhere in New York City, like in the 80s, and like he's spending all of his time with a 10-year-old kid, while there are like the who's who of New York, of the Upper East Side, at that party. And he is asked, why did you spend the whole night with that kid instead of like with all those important people? And Steve Jobs was referred to say, or quoted to say, because the boy asked the right question. Because everybody asked me, what can the Apple Macintosh do? But the boy asked me, what can I do with it? What can I do with it? Not what can the machine do, but what can I do with that machine? And I think we're at the same crossroads yet again. And I think AI is just like the beginning of a new era.
Exactly. That's a wonderful story. I love that you brought Steve Jobs in, and it is a function of all of our curiosity to ask that question, what can AI? That's another thing that people are doing all wrong, is there's kind of like, what can it do, as opposed to what can it do for me and how can I use it? Great point, Richard. And I think that's a good point to end on, although I know you and I are going to be having more of these kinds of conversations, because it just really makes sense for us to build our collaboration, I think. So thank you again for all the kind words and for being here. So I think on the social media, it's Gutjahr. So Gutjahr. So
Yeah, but
at
that stands for
Gutjahr.
Goodyear. That stands for good year. So that's
Okay.
German, and it means good year. So I'm Richard
Well,
Goodyear.
it's the Jewish New Year, so Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to
Shana
everybody
Tova.
out there who observes. And anything else that you want people to know about how to contact you or to check out your work and your writing?
Oh, just contact me on Instagram and let's exchange some art there. And I will make sure to also put some of my AI art onto my Instagram. I haven't started yet, but you inspired me so much, Jon. And maybe I'm also starting journaling instead of with watercolors, with Midjourney and others. Thank you so
Well, I
much
would
for your
encourage you to
inspiration, your great work.
share your watercolors as well, man. It's good stuff, and it's
Thank
inspiring that
you.
you practice and you do it on a regular basis. That's a big deal, in my opinion.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again. Be well.
You too. Thank you so much.
One more thing before you go. If you like this conversation about creativity and AI, check out this episode with Nicholas Newbert, also coincidentally from Germany. He did an amazing concept movie trailer called Genesis, using Midjourney and Runway ML to AI applications. Really an interesting, creative AI story. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next episode.